This week, we are going to be discussing Ed Sheeran's brand new album, Subtract. So, Subtract, and it's actually spelled out with a dash rather than the full word. So it's the actual symbol. But
Just a part of the equation, man.
it makes
The Ed
searching
Sheeran
for
equation.
these albums so difficult when you have to
Oh yeah, I put a dash and like nothing came
I
up.
know. Like even his Divide album, like where's the divide symbol on my keyboard? I can't find it. Like there's no divide
No,
symbol
you
on
got
my
to do the
keyboard.
back. You got to do the
The backslash.
backslash.
Yeah, it's like it's so annoying. But anyways, Subtract is the sixth studio album by English singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran. It was released on May 5th, 2023. It was co-written by Aaron Dessner of the indie rock band The National, who also produced Taylor Swift's albums Folklore and Evermore. Sheeran and Dessner wrote over 30 songs together during a month-long studio session. It is the final album in Sheeran's mathematical-themed and naming convention. So, Eric. Yep. You have a question?
No.
Oh,
Well, actually, I do have a question. So
okay.
the National, like the Canadian band,
Uh,
the
there's
National.
there's a no. That's a news program. That's not a band.
Oh,
Nothing.
no, there's a band called the National.
I don't think they're Canadian. I'm pretty sure Aaron Dessner is not
I'm pretty
Canadian.
sure.
He's an American.
Pretty sure the
He's
National is a Canadian band.
American.
The
Really?
National is a Canadian band.
That'll be news to me.
No, there's not a. It's not a Canadian band. It's not. Yeah, it's in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, who
Okay.
are you thinking of?
So, and who's the guy's name you said?
Aaron Dessner,
Okay.
Dessner. Master producer
Dessner.
these days, anyways.
Okay, so he's not. Okay. So wrong. I was completely wrong. We'll blame it on Ed Sheeran's Scottish ale. That's what we'll blame it on.
All right, I'm gonna throw to you your thoughts
Yes.
on the album.
So I mean,
This is not
I
going
feel
well,
like
Eric. This is
no, it's not.
This
No, I'm trying to
very
find
positive.
something good. I'm trying to sound. Yeah, no, it's not going to sound very positive because every time he releases an album now, like the more he releases the albums, the more it's just not getting good. He's just losing. Like I feel like he's losing his mojo for writing music.
Okay.
I felt like I really enjoyed the first two songs in the album. And then the other songs were kind of just boring. Like I just felt like they were just very boring. But after listening to this album, I do have a new theory about Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
So for the song Curtains,
Yes. Title
okay,
track 8 looks like.
yes. So he does like that like high like like you know when he does like something like
Oh, is
that.
this the falsetto song?
No, not the falsetto part where he's kind of like using like his
Oh,
throat
yeah.
like to get that growl sound,
Yep.
right? I have a theory that because I went back and listened to some other Ed Sheeran songs where he had this, I think that he forces the song to clip at that point for his vocals to get that sound. Because
Oh.
I just don't feel like it sounds natural from him. So I feel like he's like, and so those of you who don't understand what I'm saying, so like the microphone I'm talking on right now, I have a volume on my interface that I'm using that the microphone's plugged into, which the interface is plugged into my computer. So there's a volume knob for the microphone. So if I crank that up to full, I'm going to start to clip. So you'll see like a meter go up to red. And when it goes red, that's something you don't want in music. But if it goes up to red, it sounds almost distorted a bit. If I can explain, like,
Yeah.
Am I explaining this correctly? You think, Kim? So I think that's what he's doing. I think he's forcing it. He's forcing that to clip so it sounds like a growl.
Oh.
Now I haven't seen him live.
Fascinating.
So I've never actually like. I don't know if he's hitting those same notes as he is, but I feel like you would get the same effect out of the speaker.
Yeah, you could get it out of the speaker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Interesting. That'd be wild if he did that. I mean, like, whatever. I'm not. It's. I don't think that's a negative.
No,
It's a cool effect if he does do that.
no, and absolutely. Like I think it's kind of neat, but it sounds like I'm like that kind of sounds like it's
Clipping.
clipping,
Oh,
but it fits. It definitely fits.
cool.
So that's one theory I've come up with
Okay. Okay.
about Ed Sheeran listening to this album. But I just like so Boat. I thought like it was a strong like it's like a typical Ed Sheeran song. Salty Water, perfect follow up. The Eyes Closed. Maybe I'm just getting annoyed with the Ed Sheeran's like signature vocal melody. The ay 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 eyes ay 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 eyes. Like you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So maybe I'm just getting annoyed. Like I guess okay. Thanks. We've heard these songs before. Ed, Dusty, I thought was a garbage song.
Oh my god. Okay.
I thought Dusty was a garbage song. I'm sorry, I'm putting it out there.
Eric, we're gonna have vastly different opinions about this album. I can tell you that right now. But,
Oh, are you serious?
yeah, we're having an argument here. But no, continue.
Okay, that's gonna be like Kem's favorite song
That
on the album.
I don't have a favorite. Just full disclosure.
Okay.
But...
Curtains, I liked Curtains, but I thought the chorus was like the perfect chorus. Like it was like well written, but I just felt like the verse didn't fit what was happening in the chorus.
Right.
But I like if I was have to say the beginning half of this album was solid, but then you just start losing my interest as you keep going.
Okay. No, I get it. I can understand that. Okay, here's my here's my statement for this album. I think this is the best album Ed Sheeran has ever written in his career.
No. I'll let you finish.
But Ed Sheeran's problem is that he just he's the most generic artist out there. So like these songs just they're the same formula over and over again. And every time I listen to some of these songs, I'm like, oh, that borrowed an element from this famous pop song or that famous folk song or whatever. There are so many like 4-chord songs on this album. There is no real variation anywhere. He's like, what are those birds that collect shit and then create a nest? Magpies. He is a musical magpie where he just takes shit from every single artist, musician, song, whatever, and just puts it all together, and it's just like this generic jumble of whatever that he's put together. And it just like it's like a easy listening, it's the same thing over and over again. But I still think this is Ed Sheeran's best album ever.
No.
Because there is an element here where he's really trying to dig into a deep emotion on this album compared to his previous albums where it's like, I need to be famous, so I'm writing this pop song, or I'm writing this hit for the radio and it needs to be like, super generic and catchy so that it goes to #1 on the Billboard. Like that's how I feel a lot of his albums were written. They just need to be a hit. Whereas this one, when I listen to it, I don't hear that drive to be popular, right? He's already done that. He doesn't need to write a pop hit anymore. These songs he's trying to dig in deeper. And a song like Saltwater, right? You can tell the meaning of the song is really important. It's about depression. It's about reaching out for help. It's okay to reach out for help when you're depressed or not feeling good. The problem is Ed Sheeran's in this like weird space where he's so generic that even his heartfelt lyrics are generic. So like, yes, the meaning of the song is like this like deep, emotional thing, but he's rhyming things like buy and high and like sky and fly. Like it's the most generic thing, and it
It's like
loses the meaning.
it's like rhyming 101.
Yeah, like there's so many things in
Mm-hmm.
this album that I'm like, this could have been like, and Aaron Dessner being the co-writer on this album makes sense to me because for me, this is like similar to Taylor Swift's Folklore, where I think Folklore is the best Taylor Swift album that ever existed. And this Subtract album, from a tempo and from a mood perspective, is in that
Mm-hmm.
same vein, right? It's a stripped down, there's
Mm-hmm.
no electronic drums, it's pretty much just an acoustic guitar and just ambient noise, right? It's in that same genre, but it's just not on that level of a Folklore album where
Mm-hmm.
the emotional uh, depth is not on this album. So I still think this is Ed Sheeran's best album, but that's not a good thing, I would say, because
I don't I see I disagree with you that this is his best album because I have been listening to Ed Sheeran since he's been coming out and I do enjoy like most of his music, but I feel like Divide is his best album
but don't
because he
you don't
really
you find Divide had too much like synth? Like it was too much like in the moment. This is what's popular. It's like there's some dubstep elements, like EDM elements in the songs,
yes,
and
I
like
agree. I agree with you, but like he's using like see now we sparked an this is like our first argument this year here, everybody. So I feel like yes, you are correct. He does implement a lot of
like
like
flavor of the
electronic
day.
sounds,
Yeah, flavor
yeah,
of the day.
flavor of the day
Yeah.
into it, but that's what he was kind of known for. He's using his loop pedal a lot, right? So he's using these like samples and stuff to create the songs. So I can kind of accept that. Whereas this, it felt like it was like I just learned guitar, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
So I'm going to play you some songs, right? So like and to go back on that, I think that the Equals album, which is the prequel to this, I thought that that was way overdone. Like that
Mm.
was way over produced, way over like electronic sounds and everything. I think that Divide, and I would say the Multiplier or whatever the hell it's called, the X album, is like the go-to album for him. But I just I get what you're saying, but I like the rhyming, like you said, like even like the lyrics,
The lyrics, yeah.
like it's a more of a heartfelt album, yes, but it's more of like a simplified, like like I lost my dog.
but don't you
Oh
feel like
yeah,
if you took away
I'm
all
in a smog, right? Like it just felt like so.
but
I don't know.
but all those previous albums that he has, you strip away the drums, you strip away the guitars, like everything, right? Don't you feel
Mhm.
like lyrically it would be on the same level as this album? Like I don't.
Divide.
Yeah, Divide, all of them. Like I feel like lyrically if you just stripped everything away,
Mhm.
I think
I
this one at least has a honest and emotional depth to it, whereas the other ones don't. But they're all at the
really
same like lyrical level, like a technical lyrical level. They're all the same, but I think this one at least comes from an honest space.
an honest space. See, I don't feel that.
Mm.
Like I've always looked at him as a one man show loop pedal guy
Yeah.
that does his little effects. Like you're not going there seeing like shredding from Eddie Van Halen or
Yeah.
anything like that,
Hmm.
right? You're just going there to see like a simplified acoustic folk music in it with a modern twist. And then your argument I think is just like is Ed Sheeran like like good in that I like in retrospect his lyrics are the same. I feel like
Yes.
his lyrics are the same across all the albums across the board,
Yeah.
but musically I feel like this is just very flat, and it's
Mm.
almost like he heard so much flack about the Equals album because it came out and everybody forgot about it. Like I don't even know what the hell the singles were on that album,
They
and I
weren't
don't
very good.
even think anybody cared about them,
I think
right?
they charted, but they were just like they were like
Shivers.
yeah they were good for like 2 weeks, and then people are like, okay, next song.
Yeah, like who cares, right? Like he hit his peak performance, I think, at Divide, and then he just went downhill. Like he overproduced, and then now he's just like, well, I fucked up that album. Maybe we should take it down a notch and try to go back. I felt personally he was trying to recreate his Multiply album, which just did terrible.
Right.
Because if you think about it, the Multiply album put him on the map. Like
Mm.
that was the album that everybody was like, this is Ed Sheeran. This guy's amazing. We need to like
Right.
whatever trend. We need to trend. Trending. He's trending, everybody. Right. So I don't know. I was very disappointed with Subtract. I thought it could have been a lot better.
All right. Before we go on to like final stuff, Dusty. I'm surprised you say that's the worst song he's like ever done.
What do you think is the worst song?
I don't. To be honest, it's such a monotone album. I don't think there's a best song or a like worst song on this album. They're all like so. Even the last one, The Hills of Aberfeldy. Oh, full disclosure, we are only talking about the standard edition of this album, so we're not talking about any of the extra tracks on the deluxe or whatever. But even The Hills of Aberfeldy, like that's a Irish folk song in that sort of vein, right? That even felt generic Ed Sheeran to me, even though it was a complete different genre shift relative to the other songs. So I'm surprised that Dusty of all songs sort of like stood out for you.
See, like it stood out to me because it was an original. Like The Hills of Aberfeldy, like when I hear it, it's just a bad cover of the song. to be honest, but I just felt like Dusty was just so like it was like that video you sent me of Noel Gallagher talking about how Christmas is boring. like that's all I could think of. Like the song is so boring.
I see.
Like
I see.
there's nothing going on in this song. Like I was just like, I don't what is Dusty? I don't understand what you're trying to say here.
Got it. Do you recall which song is the one where he goes acapella or not acapella, falsetto the whole time? There was one song where he's in falsetto the whole time.
Yeah.
Anyways, regardless, it's near the end. I think it's either Spark or Vega. So normally I hate falsetto. If you're singing the whole song in falsetto, I just like absolutely hate it. Whether it's Bono or Chris Martin or whoever does it, like it's just grating for me. Surprisingly, I really liked Ed Sheeran's falsetto on this track. Like it was pretty like well done in my opinion. Mind you, you couldn't do that for like 10 minutes straight because falsetto is like too grating. But
no, you can't. I was trying to find it.
But
here.
The song that he had it on, I thought that if I were to put like a standout track, I would put that one on just because it's so different from everything else on this album.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, like where this album, and I hate to really compare this to Folklore because it's not really a fair comparison, but like where
I feel like that's controversial. You comparing this to Folklore, because I feel like Folklore is like leagues better than than this album.
No, I agree.
This is like
I definitely agree on
welcome to the music club, Ed Sheeran, your new found musician.
but there's parallels here, right? Like Taylor Swift before Folklore is a lot of pop hits, country hits, like radio friendly songs, right? And then Folklore comes out, it's just a stripped down essentially an acoustic album, which Subtract is a acoustic stripped down album, and he's coming from a lot of pop hits. So and obviously in terms of actual quality, like there's no comparison between Folklore, but Folklore has that ability to have differentiating songs, one, and lyrically there is something that is a bit more complex than what is presented on Subtract. Like Subtract lyrically, I think is where it fails, because when you do a stripped down anything, you better be on point with what you're saying, because that is the only thing people can listen to. If you're going to take out all the production, all the drums, all the guitar solos, there is no hiding it, like, your words, because that is the only thing that is going to be interesting on a stripped down album or song.
And I really like, and obviously I'm not using this album to compare it, but you just saying that is why Sons of Surrender is doing so well,
Right.
because these are songs that are recorded with a full band and they've been stripped down, and nothing's really changed except for a couple songs, but you could really hear the lyrics, and you're right, like it's just the artist is on display. Like, what is your story? And I just felt like you went to like Chapters or Indigo, or Barnes and Nobles for our friends in the States, and sat down while somebody was reading a kid's novel out loud while the group of children are sitting around. That's what I feel like this is.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, because I honestly, like, full honesty, I really think this is Ed Sheeran's best album that he's ever done. But it's not, for me, it's not saying much, because, like, it's just not a good album.
It's not.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, final thoughts, ratings. Let's go.
I mean, again, the mixing and everything is done. I'm still leaning on my theory of that he's using the clipping to his advantage. I'm gonna give this album a 3 out of 10.
Wow, 3 out of 10.
I didn't think that this was a
Damn.
special album. I don't even like there's no minus symbol in the album. Like, where's the subtract symbol?
He's subtracting all the production and all the extra
It's a
stuff.
heart that looks like his face, like a terrible rendition of his face.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with these artists with these yellow covers. Like, Metallica had a yellow album, and now Ed Sheeran has a yellow album. Like, these are horrendous looking album covers.
Like, at least his other albums all had this symbol in it. Like, you have the equal sign, clear equal sign, right? Like, I don't know.
Oh, before I continue, I threw this in the Discord, but Saltwater, the verses, they're definitely Our Lady Peace song, like, for sure.
Oh, yes, 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 you were totally right. I listened to that and I was like, this is Our Lady Peace.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. I listened to Saltwater the first time. I was like, I know this song. I definitely know this song. And it took me like 2 days to figure it out. I was like, I know this melodies from somewhere. Oh my god, it's exact. Anyways, for me, and I'm saying that this is Ed Sheeran's best album ever. I'm still only gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Because, like,
mediocrity at its best.
it just, I think that's Ed Sheeran's, like, MO, right? Like, it's just mediocre. It's always been mediocre with him. And you know what? He's had hit after hit, so maybe mediocre is fine. Like, he shouldn't really complain about that, because at the end of the day, he's like putting out hit records. But I just don't think, like, this, I really feel like this album, he really tried to release something that was heartfelt and, like, stuff that he's feeling, and he really needs to get that message across. But from a technical perspective, that those lyrics just, he's not conveying anything. Like, you can tell he's trying to convey something, but there's nothing there.
Yeah, it's almost.
Oh, I think I lost Eric. Eric was about to say something, but I completely lost his audio. So maybe I will. Oh, there he goes. Anyways, Eric gave his rating of 3 out of 10. Oh, he's back.
I'm back.
All right. You didn't miss much. You definitely didn't.
Obviously, Ed Sheeran has canceled me off this.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran's not happy with us right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you have a final thought there before we lost you?
I can't remember it.
Okay.
I forgot it.
Anyways, Eric gave it a 3 out of 10. I gave it a 5 out of 10. It's not a great album. I don't know. I still think it's worth. I would still say it's worth checking out, but man, it could have been. Actually, no, it couldn't have been better. It could not have been better because I don't think Ed Sheeran is capable of making it better.
Yeah, and that's the point I was gonna make. When he does these songs with these other artists, I just find like the collaboration. Like I've never liked a collaboration. When it comes to like the famous one, Perfect with Beyonce, didn't like it. Right. And there are a lot of songs that I like when the collaboration, I like it better than the actual just original, because it's like, that is awesome. Like their vocal lines line up. Like when he did his song with Elton John, not a fan of the American, I think Ed Sheeran thinks that he's a one-trick pony. He can play his loop pedal, right? And that's it. Like he could play by himself, but when he starts collaborating with artists, like he's not choosing artists that would kind of play off each other.
Even he did the song with Eminem, and it's just like, it was two individual songs in my opinion. Like it was M's verses and his chorus, and it had nothing to do with each other.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. Anyways, that was our discussion about Ed Sheeran's brand new album, Subtract. I don't know. I'd say check it out. There's no real. I don't think this is gonna chart. I mean, it went #1 on Billboard, but like, I don't think there's a hit single on this album.
Ed Sheeran, and I feel like you're gonna agree with me with this one. Ed Sheeran is the guy that I would tell to check out when he comes out with the greatest hits album.
Ooh, yeah. Yes.
Just check out the greatest hits and you're caught up. Yeah.
Anyways, that was Subtract by Ed Sheeran. For those of you following along with us every single week, the album that we will be listening to and discussing is Lustre Parfait by Gord Downie and Bob Rock. Honestly,
one of my
I started listening to this album, and I was like, this is a bit of a sneak peek, but I was like, this is where lyrics should be. Like when you're an artist, this is the quality of lyrics that should be written and sung. And Ed Sheeran is nowhere near the bar of Gord Downie.
The Canadian poet, my friend. I am so excited for next week's album, man. Yeah. Oh, yes.
But yeah, Lustre Parfait by Gord Downie and Bob Rock will be for next week. I think that should be about it. Let me just update this. Oh, I'm lagging again. Give it 1 second. There you go. Sorry. Let me update this and we'll close this off. So our controversial statement for this week is the English and the Irish are the same, which I feel like we've started another war, but you know.
I didn't really say that, but I love the I love the over exaggeration on these.
And that's basically it. What genre is the next album? Rock? I'd say rock.
I would say rock, yeah.
Folk rock? It's definitely, it's not like a soft rock type of
thing. Yeah. Okay, so Luton, like, obviously your background is a bit Scottish. So, like, the Scottish hate everybody in the UK. And then, like, yeah, like, there's a lot of conflict between those people, especially when the World Rugby comes out. Then it's like all hands, like all gloves are off.
Anyways, that's it for us. That was this week's Crossroads Music Podcast. We're here live at twitch.tv/the Crossroads Music Podcast. Catch us on Spotify, Apple Music. We're here live streaming every Monday at 10 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. PT. I think that's about it. I don't think there's anything else to conclude here. Eric, any closing thoughts before we wrap this all up?
I mean, don't let AI take over our music, everybody.
Perfect. All right. Good night, everyone, and we will see you all next week.